Hey everybody, how you doing? Today I am doing one of my most requested dishes, and that is salmon sweet potato croquettes. So they're like tater tots, but it has sweet potatoes and salmon in it as opposed to regular white potatoes, and they are delicious. You know, I never used to like salmon very much, and then I tasted some of these salmon patties, and I'm like, okay, we can change this up and make it different. And so I do have a salmon patty recipe. You'll find that on my blog. This is a different one. It's little salmon croquettes or tater tots that your kids will love too. This is requested by my athlete friends. I like to do a lot of recipes that will make it where athletes who are always hungry, especially when you're in training, to be able to fuel themselves with healthy food as opposed to running out for a pizza that we really want. So I'm going to show you how to make this, and I do want to, I'll show you kind of the substitutions on both ways, just so that you know. I did buy fresh salmon, and what you can buy canned salmon for this, no problem, but I like to use fresh salmon. If you go to your local farm market, I go to a farm market as opposed to the grocery store because I know they bring it in fresher. I just feel like that I don't know, I feel like it's more fresh. And so what I did is I got a pound of sockeye salmon, and what I do is I just ask them for a pound. So the salmon that you see in the display is like this big. That's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 pounds. Just ask them for a pound or even a half pound, depending on how the size of your family and what you're doing. So then I take it and I put it in a large bowl. I just use my 4-cup measuring pot, and I put water in it, and then I squeeze half of a lemon in it, and then I put some pink salt in it, like heavy. So this takes all those toxins and all the slime and the fishy taste, if there's any left. If it doesn't smell like the ocean, then it's probably not fresh. So if it smells fishy, then it's not good fish, and you don't want that. So and then I leave it soak in the refrigerator overnight. So this was soaking probably 24 hours, and then you're going to take it out of the water. You're going to rinse it really good. It rinses off all that extra slime and all the salt and things like that. So you're rinsing it out really good. And then I took the skin off of it and I diced it. So this is I think this is about 2 cups it'll yield. And without really doing measurements, it's more of a feel and a look. So I'm going to show you along the way the feel and the look. Guess not the feel, but the look. So you can see what these little balls are gonna look like, because it's a texture thing, and you want them to hold together. And you want to make sure after you rinse your salmon, you want to make sure you dry it really well. So you're going to take it in paper towel or a dish towel that you use for your cooking, and you're going to soak out that water really well. What I did is I took it out of here and I wrapped it in paper towel and I pushed it down, and then I put it back in the refrigerator. And so I just took it out. It's still cold, and you want to make sure you're keeping the salmon cold until you cook it. Okay, so we have 2 cups of that, and I'm going to put this in my food processor. And another thing is you don't want to over process this. So you don't want to keep on, that's why I already chunked it up a little bit, because I don't want to keep on processing. It'll just be mush, and it doesn't have distinct flavors, and it's not good. So then I'm going to put in an onion. So normally on something like this, I really don't like putting like raw onion. I would put like dehydrated onions, but this is a very small onion for 1. And for 2, I'm going to process it. So I don't like biting into onions, and when you cook salmon patties and things like that, you have to watch that to make sure that it gets done in the middle. And the other thing is I'm going to be cooking this in my air fryer. So you make them with a melon baller, and then you put them, well, I'll show you, but you can definitely use it in a regular conventional oven if that's all you have. It's no problem. You don't have to have the air fryer. It's just easier. It's easier than it's faster. So I'm just gonna put a quick dice on this again, because I don't want the food processor doing too much of the work. I want it to be already done, pretty much just combining in the food processor. So obviously with the onion, do it a little bit better chop than I'm doing in the food processor, so you're not biting into it. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, and so that's just 1 small red onion. I would say it's probably a 1/4 cup if you want to measure. And then I'm going to put in, I love these tubes of tomato paste. If you've not seen these tubes, it's really great, because then you can do a tablespoon of the your tomato paste without having to open a whole can anymore. Isn't that great? So it's going to be a tablespoon of tomato paste. I also saw, if you didn't see these in the squeeze, I also recently saw in the market a jar of tomato paste, which I like because then you can scoop it out. Okay, and then of course we have sweet potatoes. So I have 2 of them here, and I think I'm only going to probably use one. I do have a measuring cup, and I'm only measuring because I want to make sure it's not too wet. Okay, so it's a little bit over a half of a cup. And so I wouldn't even say it's 3/4 of a cup. So I'm going to leave this one out. And then this last summer, there was an abundance at the market of the Anaheim chili, or not chili peppers, but they're peppers, but they're mild peppers, like a red bell pepper, but they just have a little bit different of a shape on them. If you get the jarred peppers, the jarred fire roasted peppers, that's just fine. Again, you're just going to want to put a quick chop on it. Boy, does this give it such a nice, like, little sweet flavor. You will love, love, love the taste of this. Again, like I said, you want to make sure you put that chop on there because you don't want it to get too over-processed. And this one, I don't think I took the skin off of, so I'm going to make sure I do that. Okay. Okay, so we are going to take some of the skin off of this pepper. And if I don't get it all off, I'm okay with that. Because I might not have roasted this one as well as I probably should have. I actually did these in the air fryer as well, which was kind of nice that I was able to do that. Alright, I'm not worried about it. Again, I'm going to food process it, so it's not, and it's not a real thick skin because this is the Anaheim. It's not the regular red bell. Okay, so then, let me clean my board real quick. Okay, so then I'm going to put in garlic. And I normally just give that a quick wrap. I'm not going to chop this really fine because it's going to get blended. So let's just do a quick chop on it. Just a rough chop. My favorite kind of dish, chop and drop. And then the juice of a lemon. So I'm just going to, half of a lemon. Okay. I want the seeds to come out. I don't have my juicer with me. What happened to it? There we go. Okay. Alright, and then I'm going to put in some fresh dill, which is going to give it such a great fresh flavor. So I don't want it to overpower it, so I'm not going to do a whole lot. So say that you were going to measure this, it would probably be a heaping 1/4 cup. Okay, just save the rest of that. I love my herbs, but I don't like to overpower the dish with it. So when I do my herbs, I've shown you this before, but you just grab the herbs and you roll it really tight like you would a cigar, as tight as you possibly can, and you give it a quick chop. Measure this just because, again, I don't want it to be too much, and a chopped, it's pretty much a 1/4 cup. Okay, not one to measure a whole lot of things, but certain things I just don't want a lot of. Now this is where, oh, don't want to forget, the next thing I'm gonna put in is Old Bay. It's an amazing spice for seafood. So you're gonna do probably 1 teaspoon. Now, Old Bay has tons of seasonings in it. It has paprika in it. It has onions in it. It has salt. It has celery seeds in it. It has a whole lot of different herbs in that. So that's a great one to put in there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a quick buzz here. Just quick to mix. Okay, so then you're going to take and you're going to push this down. Let me give it a spoon. You're going to push this down. And you're going to add an egg, just one. Okay. Give that a quick spin again. So it's coming together really well, and it's still pretty chunky, which is what you really, really want. I don't want it to be mush. I want you to still see the different things that are in there. So now what I'm going to put in there is, so just let me back up a little bit. What you can do this two ways. You could either, I'm going to put some oatmeal in here as my binder. And then I am going to let it set up. Now at that point you could roll it in panko crumbs. I didn't have any gluten-free panko crumbs, and I normally put quinoa flakes as what I roll it into, but I didn't have those. So just use what you have, and that's fine. But I'm gluten-free, so I wanted to. I didn't want to use anything with gluten in it, so my oatmeal is gluten-free. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this quarter cupper so I can just kind of measure it out. I'm going to use at least half a cup of this full cup of oats. And again, I will show you what it's supposed to look like, because when you use 2 cups of salmon or you use canned salmon, everything is going to be different. It's going to be more of a look than it is going to be an exact measurement. And for you, those of you cooks that makes nervous, don't worry, it'll be fine. I promise. Alright, half a cup it is, that's all I'm going to use. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, it's a little bit of a process, so what you want to do is you want to make sure, just know that if you're making it, you're not going to eat, you're probably not going to eat it the same night you make it. I mean, you could, but what you do is I take a little melon baller, and I melon ball it onto a plate. You can do it on a cookie sheet. And then you're going to put it in the freezer for about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, just so that they set up. Otherwise, they're going to fall apart on you. This way, all the egg and all the binders, they have a chance to swell up and to meld together. And like I said, then you don't have to worry about them falling apart on you. Okay. Okay, so I want to show you that. So see, this is the consistency of what it is. So it holds together just like that. Okay. Of course, if you don't have a little melon baller, just use your regular spoon, that's fine. Okay, get this middle part out. Make it a little easier on me. Now, some of the bell peppers didn't go mix down all the way, so I'm glad I did a rough chop on those. They're just going to taste so good in there. I promise you, you're just going to love that. If you get the jarred of bell peppers, roasted red bell peppers, oh my gosh, it's just such a nice sweet flavor in there. Alright, let's see. I'll put a little bit more on this so they're a little bit more uniform. Give them a little bit bigger. Okay, So if you're gonna go into an oven, you're gonna do it 400 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now this is raw fish, so you wanna make sure it's it's done. It's not sushi grade fish, so you wanna make sure it's done. But boy, these are a great little, you could use these even as an appetizer at a party. Grab the rest of this with my hands. The serving options are endless. There you go. So I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of them. And that's what they look like. I will go ahead and put these in the refrigerator, and then I'm going to go ahead and put them in the air fryer, and I will come back and show you the done product. And we're back, and they are done. So they turned out really good. My family had some of them already, so I know they're good. They've been tasted and sampled to make sure. But just to let you know, I had the air fryer was on 25 minutes, and then I put parchment paper down to put them on, and then I spray them. When you're using an air fryer, they tell you to use a neutral oil like olive oil or a grapeseed oil, something neutral, because avocado or olive oil burns, so you don't want to put that in there. And I use this from Costco. It's 100% avocado oil. Sprayed that on the top so it got nice and crispy brown. I did pair them. I made them a little smaller because the bigger ones were falling apart. I don't know if it's because the first batch maybe not in the freezer long enough. You do want to make sure that I said 10 to 15 minutes. I think that 15 to 20 minutes is probably going to be best. And that's so that the oatmeal that's in it will absorb, and it makes it so it binds it really, really well. And then put it in there. So let me give it a quick taste. Very moist. That's roasted red bell pepper in there. Gives it a great sweetness. There's a perfect amount of dill. The 1/4 cup for 2 pounds was good. The Old Bay, I can taste a little bit of the heat. You have to be careful. It does have a little bit of a kick to it. So if you're not somebody that likes spicy, you want to probably do a 1/2 teaspoon as opposed to a full teaspoon. But there wasn't it's not hot heat, but just some people are sensitive to it. And the one thing that I noticed the most though on this is, I tried to add fish into the rotation of our diet when I do my menu planning every single week. Okay, fish is very good for you. It's got all the omegas, and especially salmon is a really, really great alternative for fish. And I really didn't care for it before, but when you cook it properly and you take all the fishy taste out, you're going to soak it overnight. As I said, 48 hours in water with lemon juice, and you either use sea salt or you use pink salt. Anything but table salt. You don't want to use table salt, and that's going to grab in all those toxins and all the slime, take it off. All the slime is the fishy taste. Again, if the fish tastes fishy instead of like the ocean, you don't want to buy it. It's probably old. This was really good, but that takes it out, and boy, it adds such a great, allows all the other flavors to shine. And the sweet potato is always a great add. So if you like content like this, hit the subscribe and the like button, and I will see you on the next video. And if you also want some side health tips and tricks and a couple of other recipes that I post, follow me on Instagram at Cheryl Posick. I'll talk to you soon. In case you were worried about what was going to happen to that other sweet potato, it's now tomorrow's shake.